Welcome to another episode of A Minute Till 6 podcast. You know me, I'm Mark Haynes, your host, MH the Champ, along with my co-host,
Chris Perry, Chris.Perry SR, baby.
And today we have a very, very special guest. We back to back with it with the females on the show.
Yes, shout out to my girl.
My lady, Miss Lauren Jones. She also goes by Lojo from LojoMedia. Hold on, we gotta get this right. You gotta help me with this. LojoMedia.
Yeah.
It got Uninterrupted. Yeah. Is it the Sentenial?
Yeah, Sentenial.
And we missing anything? We got a little bit of everything, man. So
Lakers
cover the Lakers.
Mm-hmm.
So my girl right here, she be working.
Yeah, I'm happy to be on with you guys. I'm excited. I've been watching what you guys have been doing. It's been really dope.
Thank you.
Love the hoodie.
Appreciate it.
Yeah, so thank you for having me on.
No. Thank you for coming on. I would say so short notice.
Yeah, bless you.
He scheduled this out.
Okay. I'll just my notice was my bad. My time is off. But so we gonna start with you and we gonna interview you. We gonna talk. We want to know who you are.
Let the people know who Lojo is, man.
Yeah.
How did we get here? How did we get to the Sentenial, the Uninterrupted?
Okay. How did we
break
get
it down,
here?
bro?
Yeah. So I started covering basketball through the Drew League in 2012, and I just saw that they didn't have a reporter covering them, full time, and I was like, this is a league that has, at the time, had 40 years worth of history, and I was just like, there's a void here. So I got to be the first writer for the DrewLeague.com, kind of built out what that site looked like. With the help of Nike and Nate Jones.
Shout out Nate.
Yeah, shout out to Nate. And then from there, I just realized, my passion really is in reporting. And initially, I thought I wanted to go more into, the sports business side, maybe be a, player personnel scout. And then I read a book, and I was like, I want to have a family and be realistic about things. So I went into reporting, and that was basically what I was studying in college at USC. And then I started freelancing because I couldn't find a job out of college. And the Sentenial was the only place to really give me that first opportunity. I was covering the Clippers and the Lakers a little bit, and the Rams and the Chargers.
And is this all in 2012?
No. This is post 2012.
Okay, so
after I graduated from college in 2014. I started covering some of the teams, and then I got this opportunity to work at Fox Sports, and that was my first job, real official job out of college. Went on to ESPN as a producer, and then once I left ESPN, I was like, I'm missing reporting. So I ended up covering the Clippers that full season once I left ESPN. And then most recently, I got an opportunity to work on Uninterrupted as a podcast producer, project manager. It's going to be a year in 2 weeks.
Congrats.
Started off as a 2-week gig, just filling in, and have kind of been there ever since. So
it's like happy.
Certified buckets with Nick Young. Yeah.
Happy uninterruptiversary.
Oh, well, thank you. I might use that as the hashtag.
Uninterruptiversary. Got
it. Yeah, that's why I'm either making up words or butchering up words. That's what I do.
Names. He butchered names.
Oh yeah, names. There you go. I got the words, but the names.
We'll help you out.
That's his job. That's his job. Get to correct me and make fun of me sometimes as well. So you start off covering the Clippers and the Lakers around you said 2014.
Yeah.
And
I got to dibble and dabble a little bit, go to a couple games here and there, just to get my foot in the door. And then it wasn't until about 3 years ago, 2017, that I started covering the Clippers full time. And then when our beat writer at the time would need to fill in for the Lakers, I got my first opportunity to get my foot in the door there. And then when LeBron came, I went to my editors and I was like,
I gotta get over there
for your job.
If
you guys want the content, I'm the person. And they were like, we agree. So.
Yeah, so you've created your opportunities a lot, I've noticed.
Yes. That's the name of the game for me.
That's definitely the name of the game. for anybody that wants to be successful, I just want to put that out there. It's one of my mottos I go by: create your opportunity.
Yes.
So I'm glad to hear that. That's amazing.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
But also I love how it's another African American woman that left ESPN.
Melanin popping.
Yeah, that's doing great. You know,
that was probably the biggest blessing, honestly. I was just talking to someone the other day, like, you know, it was a great time while I was there, and I thought that was my dream job. So when I got there, I was so excited, and I was working on a bilingual show, which I was the only black woman in the newsroom, you know, at the time, and so it was awesome. And when I was working in LA, like everybody has to go to Bristol, so it was like a dream, right? But you know, ultimately, I just realized, like you said, like, bet on yourself, believe in yourself.
Bet on it.
You know, and I was like, I'm not getting any younger, so why not pursue my dreams? Like, if I can put 40 hours a week or 40 hours plus into somebody else's dream vision, then why wouldn't I do that for myself?
So, facts.
You know?
So you saw yourself in Jamel Hills and the Curry champions now?
Absolutely. Those are the people I looked at religiously growing up. Like, you know, I had a really good piece of advice when I was in college. Another fellow journalist told me, like, look at each of the people that you admire and ask yourself why. Like, why do you admire them? What is it about them? And then once you break down the why, then you kind of create your own version of these people in yourself, you know?
Right.
I mean, by staying true to yourself, obviously, and being authentic, but, like, Carrie Champion was the first person I was like, she's it. Like, you know, she was amazing, the way she carried herself, you know, that she was from LA, like, she went to UCLA. I mean, I'm not going to hold that against her. But, you know, it was just that authentic, you know, beautiful, really well-spoken. I loved it. And then Jamel Hill, like, she was not going to hold back no matter what. And I was watching her on His and Hers. And even before that, Numbers Never Lie. You know? And so I just kind of really started to figure out Lisa Salters. Like, you know, the way that she relates to players on the court and, like, just the way they respond to her. Doris Burke, you know, the way she's just, like, so official. And, you know, her play-by-play. And there's not many people that can do that. You know?
And all the players love and respect her.
Yes. So, I mean, Drake loves her. So.
Right.
You know. But yeah, so I just started to look at the people in the landscape, and then of course, you know, the Roz Golden Woodays come up, and the Taylor Rooks, and so you see, you know, people that are closer to your age doing it. Yeah, I'm sure. We all do.
I love her work.
No, she's great. She's great. I mean,
awesome.
SNY, like, the work she was doing on her podcast, and you know, like, she would go on those rants, and you'd be like, wow, like, it's hard to do that. Like, people don't realize the level of difficulty it is to articulate yourself in a way. And so I mean, I just respect all the women in the industry and had to figure out where I fit in.
Right.
So,
and with women coming up in the industry, and like you said, you started to see, you know, the new generation, which you're a part of. You're a part of that new generation. Appreciate and that. Still going, but how difficult is it being a woman in, for lack of words, let's say a man's world when it comes to, you know, professional sports? Yeah, I mean, it hits me in the face every time I go into the locker room, right? Like, you look around and there's Tanya and maybe one other person and me. So, and so especially as a black woman, it's, you know, just an added level of, I wouldn't say difficulty. I think it's more so like, I welcome it because I'm like, you the only one. So show out, you know? Okay. It's an advantage that you have because it's just a certain level of understanding that you have of these players that you're covering. You know, they're black, most of them, you know? So you can just relate on that, you know, basic level. But obviously you have to be excellent. Like, that's what I've learned quickly. It's like, you cannot, there's no room for error because if you mess up, it messes up the opportunity for the next person, whether you like it or not. Right. And so, I've had my mistakes, of course, along the way. I thought there was mistakes that weren't mistakes sometimes. Growing pains. But, you know, I think it's really just a level of just understanding your purpose and living in that and being able to embrace the challenge. Like, it's a good thing that you're
in a locker room,
right?
In the Lakers locker room.
Yeah, out of all,
like,
yeah.
You know
This
what I mean? Like,
locker room.
like
this isn't the
history.
You know, this ain't the Pistons or
I mean,
you know.
even if it was, I mean, that takes no less. You know, like
disrespect my Pistons.
Right, like they just throw the Pistons under the bus.
I'm just saying, it's not L.A. That's the point. Like Stephen A. say, you don't want to be in Cleveland. You know, for the finals and stuff, you want to be in L.A. This is like this is where it's at.
Hollywood.
Yes.
And to be, you know, a woman and an African American woman, and you know, be in L.A. and not even from L.A.
Yeah.
And it's not even.
Yeah.
This ain't the bad L.A. either. This is championship contending L.A.
Yeah. We've been through the ringer. We've been through
this
couple rough years.
What a time to be alive.
Yeah. Life is good.
Life is good. That's what's up. And we see. I want like it's that one video. I don't know if you posted it or somebody posted it where you're walking out of the where the court is. The tunnel.
Quinn.
And then you know Quinn is back there. That's how he showed much. That's how much respect and love. He's like, whoa, hold on, let me not mess up her thing. Let me get out the way.
Quinn is awesome, honestly. Like, this is a locker room that I really have like enjoyed because they all get along.
Yeah.
And so you can like feel the energy. You know, it's like, I mean, of course, winning helps. So it's been great to like get to know these guys, and you know, obviously. You realize, like, Anthony Davis is the same age as me. Like, you know what I mean? Like, it's crazy to think about because he's, like, so tall and big and has been a superstar in the league for so long. But, like, we're the same age. Like,
relate to the same things you do.
Yeah, like, we listen probably to the same kind of music or, like, go out to the same kind of places. Like, you know what I mean? So I think I just have to realize, like, they are your peers.
Yeah.
Right.
And treat them accordingly. Like, they're not any different. I mean, obviously, Bron is, like, very difficult to cover, and like he makes you step up to the plate and be excellent. You know, he's like, I will eat you alive if you don't come correct. So I had to learn really early with that, but like it's been such a joy because you know the tunnel videos has kind of become my thing. They closed the curtain on me a couple times, but you know I figured out ways to get that content. But like you know, so like to see Quinn like you know. Like step aside, and I'm like, okay, I appreciate it.
Right.
He's hilarious. He was like really trying to get out the way. I'm like, dude.
Yeah. Quinn, that's my guy. He cool. We trying to get you in there, Quinn, man. We talked about this, so I'm expecting.
Thank you. I think he'll show up.
Yeah. We'll get him eventually. We'll give him a hard time.
Sticking with along the lines of women in sports.
Yes.
Recently there was a major shift with WNBA.
Yes.
They
collective bargaining
got a new collective bargaining agreement. They got some new perks, some
pay raise,
pay raise, things like that.
Yes.
What is your take on it? How do you feel about that?
Yeah, so you know, I actually covered the Sparks for a little while as well,
Nice.
and I think it was NECA's first or second year with the team, and you know, I knew their conditions prior to.
Right.
Being in coach, you know, and not being able to travel like comfortably.
Yeah, break down some of the conditions for the people because I don't think people really understand.
It's ridiculous. They had to share hotel rooms. Like these are grown women in professional sports. You know, and they're being treated better overseas than they are, you know, here domestically.
Yeah.
And just. You know, if you go to a Sparks game, I don't know if you guys have had a chance, but they're so fun. Like, they're lit. Like, you know, I mean, and people don't realize, like, they're really, you know, they're just the same professional athletes.
Right.
You know, putting on a show, competing at a high level. It's a different style of basketball, but it's still entertaining, you know? So, yeah, when the WNBA announced their collective bargaining agreement, I was very close to it because Chanae, I produced podcast Certified Buckets, and so, you know, we were hearing that she was going to go on Good Morning America with NECA and, like, all these things, and it was time. It was past due. You know, these women shouldn't have to go overseas to make the amount of money that they would, you know, or a fraction of that overseas than they are domestically, you know.
Right.
Especially with these new franchises, the Las Vegas Aces popping up and doing well. Like, I mean, it's just a level of respect that we have to give to women in sports. And, like, you know, these are mothers. These are, you know, wives.
Like, to not even have, like, maternity leave and things like that was like, outrageous to me. And the fact that, we talked about this, the fact that, like, you literally can just, like, okay, flip the switch. All right, we're going to pay you now. Like, where was that gap all this time? Like, it wasn't that you couldn't pay them. It's there. It's been there. Right. You just weren't. Like, that's trouble.
And I think, the marketing opportunities that they're now building in.
It's advanced.
The opportunity. They're literally creating a system to help them win. Mm-hmm. Both on and off the court. And I think it was past due. I know when I talked to Chanae, she put it really eloquently. She said, people are saying that this is groundbreaking, but we didn't even have ground to stand on. And, like, that gave me chills because I'm like, wow, that is true. Like, why is it that, women in sports are oftentimes overlooked, besides, like, the women's soccer team, national team, right. But there's very few, women in sports leagues that, treat them equitably.
Right.
And even though the product might be just as great. Correct. So, and the NBA could find the money. They are partners with the WNBA.
That was part of the conversation. So, let me start off by saying, I am 110%. Let me look at the camera. I am 110% all for any raise that they got. I believe it's like the minimum is like 130.
It's 3 times what they were making.
3 times. That is a lot, and that's awesome, and that's great, and that's definitely something to celebrate. Yeah. But like you say, now it ain't like you go try to turn everybody. Women, I'm on y'all team.
Listen, when you start off like that, then say but.
No,
go ahead. But what?
This is the thing.
And
it ain't a bad thing. Let me get my words right. Let me have a sip first.
Right.
But like you said, they received help, because that was what I said. I wasn't aware of, like, where did this money come from? Was it more of like the NBA, which would say, let's call them the men or whatever? Was it like, all right, we're going, this agreement we have with the WNBA because we're partners, we're going to give you guys, some extra money to make sure that everybody has, adequate. And
I don't want to misspeak because I'm not sure exactly, but I think that I know that some of it came from TV rights deal.
Right.
Some of it came from their deal with 2K.
So I already know that.
So I know that there were different, like, pools in which they were able to, renegotiate, but I think the money was there. It was just not being allocated in the right hands.
Because I had a bad experience. The team is no longer there no more. The Sacramento Monarchs. That's that's where I live in Sacramento.
Okay.
Yeah, and I remember going to, it was either game 6 or 7 of the WNBA finals. I can't remember which year it was, but they got the banner up there hanging in the arena. And I got free tickets.
Wow.
And I don't remember exactly how I got the tickets, but I feel like in a championship game, you shouldn't be getting free tickets. And in Sacramento, but that may be why they
in now. So let's be clear here.
Well,
like,
this like matter of fact, it was 2006. That's what it was. 2006, 2006. So it's wild.
Throwback.
Yeah, throwback. I'm old. I got used to the Grays is in here. They here. But the Sparks game, like you said, they lit. So I've never been to a Sparks game. I've only been to a Monarchs game, which, like I said, they don't have a team anymore.
Right.
And like, I think, regardless of the NBA helping or the deals they have outside, I think one day the WNBA is going to be a place where it's like must see basketball.
Absolutely.
Like,
it's already getting there, and I think one of the things that has helped is the allegiance that, like, hoopers like basketball.
Yeah. Right.
Period.
Right.
So, to see Dwayne Wade and, like, Chris Paul and Donovan Mitchell come to games, like, to WNBA, and it's not like they're, like, spotlighting it, or they're doing it because they actually want to see.
They want to come.
Yeah, them play. So, Chanae talked about one of the Antetokounmpo brothers coming to see them in New York. Like, so I think it's definitely going to evolve.
Yeah.
And it's going to continue to grow because the product is there.
Yeah.
And so I think it's just a matter of time. But, I urge everybody, like, I didn't know, what to expect. And, you see, like, what's her name? Vivica Fox.
Right. Yeah.
As a big, proponent of the WNBA, there's people that you just randomly, but it's because they really love the game.
Yeah, right.
That's what's up. Yeah.
Like WNBA is the most fundamental form of basketball. Like
in many ways, yeah.
Yeah, like the NBA, of course.
The Spurs might be the most fundamental.
Right.
Yeah.
But like the overall game, of course, in the NBA now is just so it's stylistic. It's the outfits before the game, after the game. It's just all about the the look of things and how you can put your flair on something. Right. But the WNBA is like it's back to the basics. It's like you know what I'm saying.
And like
there's some finesse in that too. Like I've seen a couple moves. Like and also I think that the stars that they're creating are young. Yeah. They're still in they're in this new generation, like Liz Cambridge and women like that, like Trinae,
still coming into their prime,
as well as Breonna Stewart's, like, and then you have the like OG ballers like Elena Deladon and like so there's a spectrum. Candace Parker. So I think it's like
I like
nice
Candace.
To have yeah she's nice. She's nice.
I've seen her in person once. I like Candace.
Got it. Heart emoji right there. Make sure you enter the heart emoji for Candace right there. Yeah, so switching gears real quick.
Yeah.
I mean, along the same lines, we're talking about, the fight, the battle that the women had.
They won.
They won, right. They won. I want to switch gears to the NBA real quick.
Yeah.
Talk about the battle that we have going in the West right now for, potentially the 8th seed. Because to me, the first 7 seeds are kind of locked up.
It's locked up. It's done.
In my eyes, it's locked up. The Thunder are in the 7th seed. And I think they're
That's so surprising to me. Like,
right.
I would have never.
When I seen Chris Paul get traded over there, I think I said it before. Like, I was like, damn, why they do my guy like that, man? Like, they're gonna throw him over there and just that's how we gonna finish his career over there.
Yeah, I was waiting for him to get shipped over, but yeah, they have the 7th pretty much locked up. Yeah, so we have the battle for the 8th between the Memphis Grizzlies and the Portland Trailblazers. My boy Dame, big game Dame.
Yes,
Dame time.
Logo.
Yeah, the one that's going off right now. Yeah, he's just going absolutely berserk. Who do you think gets the 8th seed?
Ooh, that's tough.
Yeah.
I mean, with that loss. Okay, yeah. So with that loss, that Portland just had.
Yeah, that was crucial. That was real crucial.
Every game counts at this point, and so I think that could be the deciding factor between them making it to the playoffs. And I know Dame would be hot. He was hot that night. You saw the post-game interview. I mean, he was. And rightfully so. Like, it was blatant goaltending. Like,
right. The NBA knows that's why they decided not to find him.
Yeah.
Chris Haynes reported.
Right.
Yeah, because that was the first time like somebody got to say
whatever
anything about the refs. It was like, I loved it.
Yeah.
I loved it. I'm like, get him.
Well, I mean, they made a really critical mistake. So I mean, it's just that's really could be the deciding factor at the end of the season. So I think. I want to go with Portland just because, like, how do you go from,
go against Dame?
Like the Western Conference Finals to not making the playoffs and pretty much, their team has changed quite a bit, but the nucleus is still there.
And you compare them to Memphis, so you still think they're better than Memphis. No disrespect to them, but
but like I think just experience-wise, like I just trust them more to make it, but I wouldn't be surprised if they got the dogs in them, and it's a really kind of interesting team dynamic because you have this young guy leading the team, but I trust CJ and Dame as much as I think they should break up. let me be clear about that.
We don't have to talk about that.
Saying, I'm just I don't.
Hold on, man. Let me pause it there. Then, why do you think they need to break up?
Well, I mean. It's like putting the same song on repeat.
I'm with you.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, I'm with her too. I was about to say
the tune's not gonna change. You got to change something around it.
The dynamic of the league, those two together, they're great. Yeah, they're both great. Yeah, but together it doesn't work for what they have to try to accomplish.
Rob Pelinka, make it happen.
I felt the same. I felt the same with
he should.
Man, we talked about that. But I felt the same. I know what you're saying. Like, they're a good team. They're good together. I felt the same way about John Wall and Bradley Beal.
I still do.
Yeah.
I feel like we got what we go get.
Those two
like,
they kind of have kind of chemistry issues. I think that, like, that's
for
an added layer.
While. Yeah, I think media kind of blew it up a little bigger than it was.
There's smoke, there's fire.
Right. Yeah, I've never been a fan of like the two star guard thing. Like if we have a star guard, I need to start forward or start big. Like,
I agree.
Like I need some balance there. Two guards don't get me nowhere.
Well, unless you're like Steph and Clay.
Yeah, that's what
I consider Clay a 3 really to me.
But is it 2 or 3? What's the difference
it's
between
a
the 2 and 3?
positionless basketball. I mean, I mean, I think they're great individually. They're great together. But if you're not gonna get over the hump, what does it matter? Like you just gonna keep knocking down the door and not win anything.
Right.
Then, but
I mean, LeBron getting older.
Sells tickets and jerseys.
Getting older.
It keeps people in the
advisor role, and
it keeps people in the seats in Portland. But I mean, if we're talking about some real contenders, I'm not seeing it happen at all.
If according to him, he's going to be there forever. So
it sounds good.
It sounds good.
It sounds good on the outside.
KD.
Oh man, I'm gonna go there. I'm gonna go there. Speaking of KD, we see you. I don't know if you've seen any of the All the Smoke.
Yes.
Podcast.
That's our competitor, so I don't watch too close.
I see that same area. I seen the clips.
Yeah,
I seen the clips.
Viral clips.
Somebody
tell me a little something about it.
Matter of fact, ClutchPoints. We posted. That's how I seen it. I ain't seen the clip though. But how do you feel about Kevin Durant giving all the information that he's given about his past teams?
Let me be careful here.
Yeah, this tough. This tough. I'll give my take just so you're not alone on your take.
Go ahead, give yours first, brother.
Yeah, let me go. Dun dun dun. All right, let me get this camera right there. I'm talking to you. I feel like, whew. Yeah, it's
No, you ain't scared to give it to him now.
Nah, I feel like
you want all the smoke,
all the smoke, bring it.
No, I want a minute till 6. But I feel like, man, it's like you can't do that. You can't. I can't go from, especially like let's go back to OKC. We up 3-1 on the Warriors. We up 3-1. Mm-hmm. And my reason for my mind is, I think my mind can be made up that I'm leaving, that I'm going to a new city. I think I can know I'm going to go to state. I think that's cool. I think all that's cool. I didn't mind everything because KD was on my brother podcast. Yeah. And he talked a little bit about, just issues. And I ain't had no problems with that because you have issues with teammates and stuff. We talked about Bradley Beal and John Wall. Right. But when you leave and then you turn around and you tell everybody why you left, you didn't have to. And I understand, like, some people feel like, and KD he's an honest guy or whatever. To an extent.
I would have to say to an extent because everything he said to this point was contradicted in that interview.
Well, I think a lot of people, especially us in media, when we see like a lot of interviews, we know they saying the politically correct.
Okay.
So this one in a podcast, like even now, right now in a podcast setting, you always relax and you kind of get a little more. You get a little more, and that's what All the Smoke had them in the comfortable seat.
I feel like if you're honest, you're honest.
Yeah.
Period. Regardless of the setting.
Yeah.
I feel like he didn't have to say it. I think about keep it a secret.
Okay, let's say for us as media members, like, I worked at Fox Sports and I worked at ESPN.
Right.
And so that's like me going to ESPN and being like, Fox did
this
shit. And they did that. And I didn't like this one person here. And now they're there. And, it's very petty. And
but when they interviewed her, she's like, Fox Sports is so amazing.
Yeah, I'm like, both, I mean, there's no reason to, like, what are you gaining from that, kind of thing? And then also it's like, there's a certain reputation he already has, like not telling Russ before he made the decision to leave and then announcing it just to the public.
But he is definitely I don't know, different from any other superstar that probably any major sport that we know. Like, he's so that's why I can
emotional. It's very emotional.
I can accept it because he tells us randomly, like in a podcast, he'll tell us, you know, all right, I'm gonna keep my burner account. Yeah. My thing, I was okay with that. My thing was just talking about, you know, the teammates and you know, your mindset. That's your mind. You keep that in your head.
The team was good enough to make it to the championship, and to me, that was the beginning of their championship window. Had he not left, I think that's on him personally. But I mean, staying on the championship vibe.
You mean that's on him? How?
That's on him. I feel like if he would have never left, they would have been in the championship again. They had the squad.
But would they had won?
We don't know. I mean, we don't know.
I don't think they would have.
See, and that was his thing.
So I understand why he left. Like I respect like leaving, but it's like you leave and you go to the team that just beats you. Like it's just certain things that like basketball wise, like obviously, you know, with the passing of Kobe, like it's more in my mind and more present than ever. Like that's like Rondo immediately going to the Lakers, like after, you know, the Lakers. Right. Yeah, you know what I mean? Like it's just it just wouldn't happen in old school basketball. So for me, it's just like trying to adjust my mind to this new NBA. And like, I'm not saying he started the, you know, big three by any means, because, you know, LeBron started it. Like, but I just think it's like a way to do it. And you know, it's just a way to do it. That's it. That's all I got on that.
So his championship window closed. Whose championship window is open this year? Who's going to win it?
Well, you know, we got a team at Staples Center.
We got two teams.
There's two teams. We gotta be specific.
We have a team at Staples, and we have an organization.
I'm leading up to that now. That has a couple banners, you know, hanging. That's
quite a few. There's a few up there. I seen
quite a few.
1 or 2.
You know, or 3, 4.
Keep going. Maybe, like kind of like LeBron's Miami speech. Not 1, not 2, not 3, not 4, not 5. I don't remember how. I don't think he even got this high.
Yeah. So, I think we might see another follow-up speech with the Lakers at the end of the season. You know, I think they still need to figure out one more piece. Just one more. At the point guard position, we need a ball handler, because LeBron can't. I mean, he can do it, but like, why would we want him to?
Yeah, but I mean, they got Caruso and Rondo, right?
Hey, don't disrespect my boy AC now.
They got the GOAT, Caruso.
We got and
MVP
Caruso.
The
headband Russo. Yeah. We gotta get that right.
Yeah, but we need a point
guard.
Yeah, we need a point guard. I agree. Playmaker. Yeah, that can shoot.
So if we get Collison, it's banner season.
I don't know what kind of shape he's in. Like, I don't, you know, it sounds good on paper. It could fit in, but like, we don't know what he's gonna look like. Like, he hasn't played basketball, so I mean,
the reports are
in the NBA sense.
He's in immaculate shape. He's ready to go like tomorrow.
Yeah, I've heard similar reports. I've heard that he's, you know, leaning towards one team over the other.
Correct.
And it's just a, you know, matter of like logistics,
right?
Ordering our steps here, but you know, I think it'll be cool. Like, who do we cut? You know,
we
there's
have a full
chemistry
roster.
Issues that, I mean, it could be like one of the two-way guys, but we're not gonna cut, you know, our THT. He was our draft pick. I don't think we're gonna cut Antetokounmpo because he's Antetokounmpo.
Right.
Yeah.
You know, so I'm like, you know, I'm just trying to think of, you know, who is gonna, you know, move.
How we gonna maneuver and make that? Who you have winning the championship, brother?
Yeah. Well, hold on. Let's go back real. I'll answer that. I think the Lakers are the front runners. I think the Lakers are the front runners.
No
right
Milwaukee.
Now.
Right. No.
I don't think. I think when they the front runners, I think the championship is coming out of the West regardless.
Clippers
or the Lakers. I think it's coming through LA. But Milwaukee, if they do get out the East, Milwaukee is scary. I'm just like they definitely they have the talent. They have the talent. They have the size. They have everything you need to match up with the Lakers. Yeah. But they have to get there, and that's been the problem. Well, you know, Giannis, I feel like is going through what LeBron went through early in his career, where it's. you got to go so hard. Like, he's going so hard all year.
Yeah.
You're going to burn out in them playoffs.
Well, I mean, I'm just saying he doesn't have a jumper. Like
that, I know what
I'm not. I know that. I know it is. I'm not worried about that.
The determining factor for them winning the championship.
I'm not worried about that. I don't think
if he had any kind of jumper, a 3-point shot, they'd be winning the championship.
Because he's knocking it down.
But in playoff basketball, all they did was back off of him and clog the paint, so he couldn't drive.
He get tired about it. Like, that's why I think, like, as he's shooting it the best he's shot it in his career right now, and he's still not. It's still not great. It's still not great. But
if you went from 20 to 30, then I mean, good job.
But with the energy that he has to put out, every night, and that's just the style he plays. It's 100% full speed all game. There's no. I think that's the biggest thing with Giannis and turning his greatness into winning championships and games is everybody like Jordan. He didn't win when he was going, full speed every play. He was putting up 35 and winning MVPs and all that. But when he started winning was when he slowed it down and he developed his jump shot. He slowed it down, developed his mid-range.
Half-court basketball, man.
Giannis hasn't slowed down. Like, Giannis is still shout out to Brandon Armstrong. He did his little impersonation of him. He's it's still the same, Euro step to the hole, dunk on you. It's a lot of effort.
That's dangerous too.
Yeah, you see how
depending on the matchup that you have, like it could,
And he's not he's not at the level at the point mentally where he's like, I'm not, even though I know I could go kill him right now, I'm gonna let him do it. Like, you see how he went at Embiid the other day and he made Embiid look like he was little.
On the calendar to make a statement, you know
right.
what I mean? Like,
but him, it's every night.
Yeah,
it's every night he's going hard, and he's going.
Available, he's going.
He's gonna wear down. He has to slow down.
From
I don't think it's the
he's
jump
young,
shot.
like so. I mean, I don't know.
He gonna do it. It's just that's why I say I don't think it's Milwaukee time. Not because of jump shot. Just
honestly, like, yes, I cover the Lakers, but I'm interested in the Clippers. Like, Marcus Morris was such a.
That was a great pickup.
Couldn't get it. Oh, God damn it. I was like, I was looking at my phone like, wait.
I was pissed at the Knicks because, and I told him that because, they wanted.
Are you a Knicks fan?
Absolutely not.
Oh, okay.
I told him that because it's not many of them.
I'm a Lakers fan. Born. This has been my whole life.
Okay.
Cold-blooded.
Yes.
But the Knicks wanted so much from the Lakers. Kuzma and Danny Green, all this stuff, and then
Avery
trading
Bradley
them to the Clippers for
nothing. I mean, not
solo
nothing,
cup,
but yeah.
And a pack of Newports. Like, what happened?
Disrespect the cup.
Newport.
And the Newports. Goodness gracious.
I like my little solo cup.
I'm really like.
No, seriously.
I don't know about that move.
They really disrespected us low key. Like,
give us everything, or we'll just send them over there.
Pick. I'm like, wait, what? Like, you want to pick too?
Yeah, it was unbelievable.
I'm not as big on the Morris twin as everybody else.
I'm not either.
The Clippers. Like, with the Clippers, I like them. In New York, he's doing his thing, but it is a lot easier to be good on a bad team. It's a lot easier.
Yeah.
But when you're on a good team, and you have
opportunities anymore.
The opportunities changes. You got to,
fit in.
He got to fit in. That's all he's doing. And he got
2 stars already. Then you have Montrez and Lou
on the bench. Yeah,
and you don't really know how they're, because there's obviously been rumored chemistry issues with them.
Yeah.
So like, it'll be interesting.
I don't feel like he wanted to be in LA because soon as the reports came out of him going potentially getting traded from the Knicks, then he goes to the front office and tells them like, no, I want to be here long term and all these things. So, now you actually end up over there. How happy are you? Like, how?
It's LA. He's happy.
Yeah, he feel better. Yeah,
I'm sure he's okay.
Does he feel his weather?
Milwaukee or whatever.
Yeah,
but
so now we Milwaukee. Well, I feel like Detroit was worse than Milwaukee.
Where would you rather live?
I heard Milwaukee arena food is really good. That's what I heard.
Well,
I can't remember who told me, but somebody said
Staples Center needs some help.
Yeah, they said they had the best nachos or something like that.
So I mean, some history in it. I can make some things work.
They got this one soup I like, and that's about it.
That's about it. Okay, Staples Center. We need to.
I don't. I ain't gonna talk about it. I was gonna tell y'all who had some bad food. One of these arenas, they better step it up. I would just say that, but I ain't gonna say which arena. But I had some.
Why would you?
Yeah,
I had some.
You gonna bring all the smoke, right?
It was my show. Not all the smoke.
Bring it to the front door.
I don't want all the smoke, but I'm just telling everybody in the league, y'all gotta step it up in these arenas and get this food. Y'all gonna charge me $25 for some chips and dip. I need it to be good. So that's what I said that. Yeah. But I ain't gonna say what team, but it was jambalaya or something. Y'all can guess it was probably like a Southern team. I say that.
New Orleans.
And I heard New Orleans by the look of Zion. New Orleans food look like it's slamming. My man playing now. He playing now. So
hey, I'm happy. I'm so happy to see him on the court. Man, I thought we were
miss another game.
But still,
I mean, come on, man. My man can't.
We just need little glimpses.
He can't get load management.
Yeah,
got it.
Drew was like, you know what? You don't have to trade me anymore because I see our future with Brandon Ingram and and Zion, and it don't look too bleak.
Not too bad after all, I guess. Yeah, I'll take it, man. Well, on a more somber mood, you mentioned Kobe a few times today.
Yeah.
How has that been? Being in LA. Following the Lakers.
Born, right?
Born and raised.
In that whole process, I mean, now they've announced the memorial is February 24th to 24/20. Yeah. GG, Kobe, and the 20 years in the league.
Yes.
How has that process been for you as a fan?
Yeah.
And just with the pulse of the city, you're here. The pulse of the city and how everything has been.
Yeah. It's been tough, and it hit me like a ton of bricks, like you said at the beginning. Like, I'm a fan first.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
First.
And when I was in high school, some of my earliest memories of going to NBA games was with some of my best friends. And, happenstance, one of my best friends was Magic Johnson's son, EJ. Mm-hmm. So, I remember being at the 2010 finals, and, it was just... like, to watch him in person is like
epic. Yeah.
I'm literally smiling ear to ear just thinking about it. Like, I was going through some of my pictures and like blurry footage I had, and I was just like, right. Dude, like, there's nothing and no one that can impact like just the world. Yeah. Like, there's very few people that have a certain level of impact where the whole world feels, the same way. And whether you liked him or hated him, you felt some kind of way towards him. There's definitely a reaction there, and so that means that he was great because most people, if you don't have a reaction to them, like, you're not really thinking about it. Yeah. So
a good way to put it.
I mean, it still is very difficult. I remember I woke up on Sunday and one of my friends texted me and he was like, hey, you hear about Kobe? And I was like, the fact that LeBron just passed him?
Yeah. That's what last night. That was the first thing.
And so then he sent me a screenshot, and then, I just broke down. Like, I couldn't move. Like, it was really, like, just gut-wrenching. And then my mom was like, TMZ's reporting that Gigi was on the plane, and there was no survivors, and again, I just felt like my heart was just ripped out. And like, so the first thing I thought to do, even like, not even thinking like as a reporter, like the first thing I thought to do was go to Staples Center, because I'm like, I know people are going to be there. Okay. I can grieve with like the people, who I know ride for like LA and for, Kobe, and just, so I did. And I was trying to interview people while I was there, and I just kept breaking down. Like, I was just, it's been difficult. And the first game, I was so happy that they postponed that game, because I was like, how am I going to do this?
I can't go to work.
And so I went to the first game that they had after, and I got there like 4 hours early, and I just sat in the arena, empty, with Usher like singing amazing. It was just feel the energy. It was too much. It was a lot. It was overwhelming, but I think to see the players so affected by it was really humanizing, and you like take pause to realize like these are people.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? like I tried to talk to Tyson after the game that the Lakers just played against the Rockets, and he just like hugged me. He was like, "It's still too tough," and I was like, "You know, I respect that. Like, you know, it's unbelievable." And I think, you know, many people have articulated that in so many ways, but to see his impact and how many people,
it's amazing,
are like even more motivated. Like I wake up with a bigger sense of purpose. Like, you better get up.
Right. Got that Mamba mentality.
Yeah, like it's something that I feel like everybody's really channeling, and I think that's even more speaks to just how big, you know, he was, and how much his legacy will continue forever. You know what I mean? And it's just, I mean, to see the tributes around the city, like it's awesome.
I feel like he transcended like words.
Yes.
Like there was I'm like icon. No, I can't think of a word. That was like fitting that could group him in and make it make sense. Because I'm looking at like across the globe, all these tributes and stuff. And I'm just like
Italy, Philippines, China, like you know, it's worldwide. Like there are just like we said, like there's just very few people. I think like maybe Michael Jackson. You know what I mean?
Not even this big.
I remember where I was and what happened when Mike passed. But like time literally stopped.
It's generations. Like Kobe was our generation. Kobe was our, like from our Jordan, we seen him from start to finish. You know, we didn't get to see Jordan start. We didn't get to see Michael Jackson start. And also like with social media, allows the fan and us to feel like we know these guys. And you didn't have that with Michael Jordan. You didn't have that with Michael Jackson.
Well, also like just different kind of person too. Like obviously like Kobe, the retired Kobe, was so warm,
loved him,
sweet, and
loved him.
I mean, Mamba, you know, Black Mamba was one thing, you know, and that was like the dog on the court. Like, you know, you gonna get this work. You know,
that was my enemy.
Charmin, you know, like calling his teammates Soft Charmin, like that's, you know, the intensity, but like this, you know, even during his retirement, excuse me.
Last few years, he started to
just soften up a little bit. I don't know about last few years. Maybe like the last year. Like,
the
farewell tour was like the time when you saw him smiling,
a little more open.
And then the dad, you know, part of him just emerged as like, you know, he took Gigi everywhere. Like they were really like best friends, and that, you know, was so cool to watch. I mean, the 2 games that he came to during the Lakers season, like you should hear. I wish like people could really feel that arena. Like I posted a video like on my Instagram and it like went crazy because it's just, you're just hearing people erupt in cheers. Like it's different, you know. Like I mean, people still are like thirsty to do it now. They're like, you know, Kobe, and they're like, he just missed a free throw. Like let's not, you know, let's be clear here. Like, Kobe makes free throws, but you know, it's just
my guy. But. Back to Kobe. This is moment. But like you said, like Gigi had at a young age, like it was like Kobe when he wasn't coming back, you know, to play the game of basketball. He was so happy to like I could go be a dad, and I felt like
filmmaker, storyteller,
all that stuff. All the other things. I loved what he said about, and I showed I try to get my son into it because he sees me and he's like, oh, I want to do a podcast or whatever. So I started having him listen to Kobe's. Oh man, I'm drawing a brain fart right now. But he has the kids podcast that he did. And it was dope. It was like
the kids are just kind of talking, just doing
and it's like it's related to sports. Like I remember one episode was about a baseball game, and they were like short a player, and they had to find somebody out the crowd, just some random new kid on the block, and he never played and stuff, and it was just like kid experience, like if you the new kid to the neighborhood, and it was like every episode was like announced like a game though. It was like they were announcing it and stuff, and it was like super dope. And then I seen an interview where Kobe said he's like, you know, that's what I think he's talking about, being a girl dad and stuff. And he was like, you know, we got all these cartoons and stuff where it's about queens and princesses and this prince go come do this. And he was like, I got girls. I don't want my daughters like thinking that, some dude is gonna come. Yeah. He's like, so I wanted to give them things they could relate to, whether you're a girl, boy,
just the
or
fact
whatever.
That he was thinking about that stuff.
It's amazing.
Like, he was really championing like the next generation and putting his money where his mouth was. Like, the Mamba Sports Academy. I one of the last experiences that I got to cover an event. He had a like basically women in sports. It was like a clinic. And then he had a panel with all these different women, like Cappie Pondexter, nice. Danita Johnson, who is one of the, I think she's the president of the Sparks, and then Keisha Nix, who is the Lakers Youth Foundation director. And so, he's on a panel, and then Michelle Beadle was the, moderator. And so it was just amazing to see him interact with all these young women that he made sure everybody got his book. Like, it was just really dope to see like what he had created there. Like the Sports Academy existed prior to, but since he had taken over, like just the impact that he's had on so many kids, and like they'll never forget. I mean, it's tough, and it's a beautiful thing that there's all these things that he's left in the world that we can still have tangible. Yes. Yeah. So
will you be there on?
We'll see. To be determined, hopefully. If not, I'll be right outside. Like, I'm here.
And I actually haven't watched the tribute yet from that game, because I was just like, man, I'm, and I've like, he knows I wasn't a Kobe fan most of his career. The basketball player. And I remember I used to tell my friends, one of my best friend, Anthony Fane, I used to be like, man, I'm worried about meeting Kobe, man. He's like, what you mean you worried about him? Like, why you want to meet him? And I was like, I'm if I meet him, I might like him. and like his retired Kobe, like I said, he opened up and started late. And I'm like, dude, man, I was telling him, I'm like, man, I like Kobe. He's, I didn't like him as a player and stuff or whatever. But
a lot of people say that.
I'm like, God, I like this dude. How could I not like? Then you like, I always you can't do nothing but appreciate greatness.
Yes.
When it comes to Jordan, Kobe, LeBron, or any of the greats, I argue it all the time with different people, but at the end of the day, it's like, dude, this is like, if you got an A+ and an A+ and an A+, who's better? They're all A+.
Yeah.
And it's
the comparisons I've seen like dwindle down a little bit, since it's
I'm over
as well. Like, why? Like, just they're all great.
Yeah.
I'm appreciating it now.
And I think you brought up a good point too. Is like you heard more when he was playing, like, oh, he wasn't a good teammate, oh, he was hard to coach, all of those things. And now you're starting to hear, like, these, stories that are like, he was a great teammate. He mentored everybody around him. Like,
that's what I love.
From Kuz, like, so I think it's, as devastating as it is, and it's never going to feel the same, it's so amazing to see how much you can impact the world in 41 years and 13 years, and you know what I mean? Like, it's and so I take solace in that.
And to go out on the happy note of Kobe Bean Bryant.
Yes.
What is your favorite Kobe Bryant moment?
Oh.
So many.
Man.
Take your time.
Yeah.
You could go commercial, you could go game, you could go personal experience, whatever.
Yeah. Okay, so I'll do one on the court and then one off the court.
Okay.
Sounds good.
So the one off the court is definitely the most recent, when he and Gigi are courtside and he's like breaking things down to her, because after the game I just saw him introduce her to everybody, and I saw him taking pictures of her with Kevin Hart, and like, just being a cool girl dad. That was just so warming to me. Like, I lost my dad when I was 5, and so to see the bond that they had was just so beautiful, and it was really cool to, like, even though I didn't get a chance to cover him ever, to like have a form of that, and him coming to a couple of the games this year was like really heartwarming, and to see their bond was like priceless.
Yeah, sure.
On the court, Definitely, I was at Game 7 in 2010.
Wow.
And
yeah, we need this stuff.
To just like, you dream of those moments, right? Like, when the confetti starts to fall, and and just to see like, him, like it was just awesome. Mm-hmm. So I mean, like, I don't know how to describe it. Like, we're high fiving people next to you, like, you know what I mean, and just to witness his greatness, like, for the times that I did in person, and it's just like bar none. Some of my best memories of sports, period. And this was when I was a fan, like not even, getting into
this fan
reporting.
mode. Like, I don't think there can be a better moment than witnessing win a championship.
Being there, you're the first person I heard that was actually there. I've never, I never.
Christian. For taking me, my friend took me, and I was like, dude, this is amazing.
No, I could only imagine.
And she has great seats, so
that's
awesome.
great. Wow. Yeah. Because I'm thinking like I've been to, like I said, I was at the Monarchs championship game, but I had nosebleeds then, but it wasn't. Yeah, it was. Yeah, I can't imagine like
it's
when.
Lit. I was at the NFC Championship game for my 49ers.
First off.
Can we just totally switch gear shit to the losing 49ers?
Oh my goodness, the NFC Championship.
We're talking about championship vibes.
No, we're not talking about that. We're not talking about that.
That's a title, it ain't a championship.
My experience is still one of the top in my life.
Okay.
It was
really?
a great day.
We'll let you get on your soapbox.
Yeah, it was a great day. We was in the press box, and
he said, "All right, I'm gonna head out."
Flying, and the players are everywhere. Jerry writes, the legends are in the building. It was just a great time. So I understand, being around for the championship and that.
Can we skip? Are you done?
So
yeah, go ahead.
So when the Super Bowl happened, did you still have that feeling?
Unfortunately, I was working. I was here, and then I got to see the Super Bowl, but I think because I wasn't in Miami,
right?
That's really what turned things around. I think had I been there, we would be champs because me being present and accounted for just would have brought that vibe. I would have just went down to Shanny and told him straight up, like, bruh, pound the ball again, and we would have been champions. But it's cool. I wasn't in the building, so next year I'll be there.
Okay.
Well, us being having championship experience, and we know what it takes to win.
Well, I'm a Lakers fan. I have way more championship experience than you. But go ahead.
Actually.
I'm a Seahawks.
You probably don't, cause I'm a USC Trojan fan, and if I had them things up, my experience. USC football, and then Duke basketball.
Oh Jesus, you lost me.
And then when I got to experience my man LeBron James get the Cleveland championship, we ain't gonna talk about the Miami, but the Cleveland one, it meant something to us. And I ain't from Cleveland. My guy Nicky, the producer right there from Cleveland, born in the same hospital as LeBron and Steph Curry. Same room, possibly. Same room. They actually at that time, they let you take home the little beanie hats or whatever. They wasn't doing that. They had the same beanie.
Oh.
They had the same beanie.
They recycled it and gave it to Nicky.
And he stole it.
Wow.
But we ain't gonna tell nobody else. Right. That's a secret.
That's off the record.
Yeah. But I experienced the championship. You don't have to be there. I'm trying for next year when y'all trying to win. You don't have to be there to win the championship. Even though she was there, she felt the vibes and stuff. But I was actually driving when LeBron got the block on the radio and stuff, and it was like, it was like it's on a fast break, and I was like, oh my goodness, I'm about to crash the car because we gonna lose. It's gonna lay up, and it was like it's blocked by James. I'm like, woo! Like the feeling. I'm sure it ain't like getting confetti rained on you, but I felt it. I was driving. I don't even see it. God took the wheel because I wasn't even driving.
On ESPN. Go ahead.
Jesus took the wheel.
Right.
Because I don't know how I made it to Sacramento, but I was driving. I was at the game.
How you wasn't watching the game for the final?
I think I had work or something. Excuse. You don't. I'm trying to see. You gotta take note. Can you pass him the note paper? Because
we gotta announce me being in the building for.
No, I'm telling you, don't have to be there to win.
Oh, I'm done.
That's all it is. But anyways, we know how recent championships feel.
That wasn't that recent. It was 2010.
We back at it. More recent than the Niners.
We are back at it.
Yeah, more recent. But, we back at it, Mr. James, he's here. And along with AD and a couple of other guys that's really, really good. So, earlier, refreshing my memory, you said the Lakers are winning it this year.
That is what I had said.
Mm-hmm.
On wax, yes.
Is that from the fan? I meant to ask that earlier. Is that from the fan point of view, or is that what you believe just when you look at everything?
Both.
Oh,
it's about both.
Okay.
I still think like I said, I think they need another
point guard.
Yeah. But if they get a decent point guard who can take away some of those minutes for LeBron, then I think that they are going to win a championship.
Well, I'm going to tell y'all the secret weapon again, because like I said, it's vibes, it's feelings. LeBron has won a championship.
Step up too, let's be clear.
Oh, yeah. It's your guy.
I think that happens when you have a point guard in the second unit.
Okay.
I think he needs to let his hair go back to the regular color.
I like it blonde now. It's growing on me.
Yeah, it doesn't matter, man.
Yeah. But
he's had more hairstyles than he has points.
Ooh.
Dun, dun, dun.
Yeah, let it go. But LeBron is. I haven't seen him in 2020, but each year LeBron has shook my hand. Wow. He's won a championship. So, Bron, if you ready for this ring, man, we're gonna finish this year off, man. We gotta hook up.
So funny.
Let's hook up.
In the building. Shake his hand.
Yeah,
it's shook my hand, man. That's how that one came along. Shook his hand earlier that year. Shoot around. Yeah, it could be shoot around. Don't matter, Bron. Just it's this hand too, right? I watched it. Some people said I wasn't gonna watch. Yeah, pass that. Pass that. Get make sure I get to him. But Lauren, Miss Lojo. Let's do this. Help me out again. We got LojoMedia.
Uninterrupted anniversary.
Yes. Uninterrupted anniversary, yeah. We got the Sentinel.
Yes.
You name it, Sparks, ESPN.
And we ain't finished. We got more coming. If you want to shout out your handle so they know where to find you.
Yes, you can find me and get all these viral vids at LojoMedia.
LojoMedia.
Thank you guys for having me, honestly. This was fun.
Thank you. Hopefully this ain't the last time.
No.
Hopefully next time we actually celebrating a championship, we bring the champagne and stuff out. Yeah, yes. I'm
confetti. Nikki got to blow the confetti, but yeah.
Oh, that'd be Throw it like right at the end of the show. Just
don't blow it. Just
make it rain. But once again, y'all, thank you again. But once again, this is a Minute Till 6 podcast here at ClutchPoints. I'm your host, Mark Haynes, MH the Champ. You can find me.
Chris Perry. You can find me on Instagram, Twitter, Facebook, Chris.PerrySR.
Like that.
And we out.